Hi and welcome. So this video is for divine feminines and divine masculines that are further along on the journey. And remember, when I talk about divine masculine, divine feminine, I'm not talking about how you identify in the physical form. I'm talking about energy and frequency. The divine feminine is always the push energy, the more spiritual twin, whereas the masculine energy is the pull energy. They pull away, they run away. They're not the ones searching out, especially not early on. The divine masculine won't be searching out information. They will be just wanting to escape the energy. But as I say, this video is for those twins that are further along. Now, there comes a point on the journey when the energy is, the divine feminine has pulled back a lot of their energy. They're starting to surrender. They're starting to step into their sovereignty and that inner union frequency. And there is a collapsing down of the veil and illusion. You see, early on in the journey, the divine feminine puts the divine masculine on a pedestal, thinking that everything they want and need, the divine masculine can give them, but also everything they stride for a lot of the time in life whole is held within that masculine. And there comes a point on the journey when that veil, that mask starts to drop. And the divine, and as I say, this is for divine feminines that are further along in the journey. You will get to this point where you suddenly start to see the divine masculine in their human self. You stop seeing them as this pedestal divine being, and you see them in their lost aspect, in their running aspect, and the illusion, the veil starts to drop. Now, why this happens is because you are now collapsing down the duality aspect and you're moving into a singularity. To move fully into this singularity, divine feminine and the divine masculine must really, step into that surrender energy. And to step into that surrender energy and come into inner union, the veil, the pedestal that was once there starts to collapse. And this is normally when you will start to question, am I really on this journey? And what is this journey about? But at the same time, your friends and family, when you're surrounded with that 3D matrix, that no longer makes sense. And you feel like you're lost in this void energy of not being on the spiritual journey, but also not being in the human journey. And you're in the world, but not of the world. And it's a very, very confusing time for the feminine. And a lot of the energy that will be brought up now will be very questioning energy of, well, what's the point? Why did this even happen? And you'll know in your heart why it's happened. You'll know and you'll feel it at a soul level. But the mind and ego at this point is really starting to try and grab on. And when anything is dying, it always makes a lot of noise a lot of the time. In that tower moment, there is that crashing down. This is what is happening to the ego mind. But really what is truly happening is you are coming into inner union. You are actually shifting from seeing the divine masculine with the physical eyes to now really working in that one soul frequency. So if you have felt this, where suddenly now you're looking at the masculine and going, what did I even see in you? And your behavior, I am, elevating into this higher frequency. And what I want to say is it's not from a mind and ego. It's just from a place of, this is not not peaceful to me. This does not feel aligned with soul. And you're really starting to embody this now of anything that is no longer peaceful, that does not reside in peace, that is not connected to the earth and the ocean and the mountains. You know, you'll find great stillness. I want to say yearn, but the yearn is coming from the mind and ego. It's alignment. You align with stillness. You align with the earth's core vibration at this point. And the divine masculine hasn't aligned in that frequency yet. So you're aligning, but you've still got the physical form of them, but they're not in that higher frequency. Remember what I always say on this journey. You can come down to where the masculine is, meeting them in the lower chakras, but that will keep you in pain and looping. Or you can let go, you can surrender, you can come into your sovereign divine frequency, and they have no choice but to meet you in that higher vibration. But you have to hold your energy, hold your light through the oscillations, through the peacocking energy. And so it's about coming into wholeness, knowing that this journey is about being. And yes, divine masculine at those points will want to trigger you. You will feel triggered. And a lot of the time, all of the time, through those triggers, you will see the light. It is in the trigger, because in the trigger, it puts you into the darkness. It puts you into the despair of feeling, I don't know what to do. But in that I don't know what to do, you have no choice but to surrender. And in that surrender, that is when you come back into your wholeness. That is when you come back into your light. And that is what creates those beautiful energetic shifts. Remember, you do not meet divine masculine, i.e. your soul, in the yearning, the wanting, trying to create something in the 3D. It is a frequency and energy that you both shift in and are able to hold. But throughout this journey, you will feel those triggers, but those triggers, each trigger takes you into a higher vibration. And each vibration you hold, divine masculine has to meet you there. And if they don't, well, then you're probably not on a twin flame journey. This is a journey of awakening. This is a journey of sovereignty. This is a journey of aligning with your soul, aligning with your soul purpose. And when you start to really shift into that wholeness, that fullness, stepping into your purpose, aligning with soul, aligning with your heart, that is when the journey truly changes, because divine feminine is coming into their inner union, their frequency, their power, their light. If you need more help and support on your journey, my website is there, whether it is understanding the A to Z of the journey, and my Twin Flame course gives you lifetime access. So each time they come in, you know what to do, so you don't go back into those triggers. And even if you did go back into the triggers, you'd go, I see what I've done. Next time I'm going to hold my light. Next time I'm going to get out of the story. I'm not going to sit in the story. I'm going to see it as me raising into that frequency. And in that frequency, divine masculine has to meet you there. I hope this helps. My website is there. It's the 3 W's, catsacredsoul.com. I send you so much love. Have a beautiful, blessed day.